Yeah, I know I look hot. Thank you. Thank you. And finally, my magnum opus. Not quite appreciated at time of release, but that must now be seen, must now be given its due diligence, its moment in the sun. It must be given its flowers. So we're giving her her flowers. Hot Old Man is cinema. I can only assume this phenomenon has not been prolifically explored due to patriarchy, but it truly is time that we, as a culture, discuss the timeless and profound effect of Hot Old Man. As you well know, reader, I am not referring to some fangirl fandom, screaming, crying, rolling on the floor, stanning that many want to dismiss this as. No, I'm referring to the ancient knowledge that we hold of the power of Hot Old Man that can turn marginalized TV shows into hits, indie films into indie smashes, and forgotten old releases into classics. For those of you that are not in the know, Hot Old Man, term I am coining now for a phenomenon as old as time, is the general conceit that, and if I may read directly from my notes here, any man over the age of 40, when put into a hero's journey and crafted into a careful but potent plot mix of being beaten up, being tired or otherwise beleaguered and distressed, and a deep-running undercurrent of vulnerability, redemption and love, is crack cocaine to niche subculture and general audiences alike, though the latter hardly know this is occurring. And yes, for a man, 40 is old. A 40-year-old woman is in her prime, full of wisdom, beginning to be liberated in her pursuits, more financially stable, and able to fully realize herself in the world. A woman truly does not get old until around 70, and even then, I don't know many old women at that age either. Men, when they hit about 35, they get old. There's no challenge, no renewal. They face no newness of spirit or renaissance of pursuit. Men just tend to rust. How the fuck ever? One thing old men have always been good for is being pretty. The mainstream just simply doesn't understand this. It's run by ugly old men, probably jealous, who don't understand the true core tenet of aesthetics and artistic merit. The rest of us, we know. We scoff at those who would dismiss the ineffable sex appeal of Stanley Tucci. We merely move on when the uninitiated just don't understand why everyone's still so obsessed with Mark Ruffalo. It is not for us, dear viewer, to convince their conscious minds of anything, because subconsciously, they all know it's true. They turn up in droves to the cinema for them. They secretly try to dress like them. The very best creators are the ones that take this subconscious truth and actively, consciously use it to their advantage. But you have to be a certain kind of genius, a certain kind of cinematic literate. You have to know from experience the power of Hot Old Man. Like clay, you must handle the image in front of you. There is no one size fits all here. You can't just, slap an old man on the screen and be done with it. You must adjust for the temperature in the room, the humidity, the feel. It's a fragile medium. You go too far, you get Tom Cruise or Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock, all fine actors. Their characters are lacking that depth and undercurrent that Hot Old Man promises. You have to know what makes each man hot, what makes them beautiful in a frame, what connects them to the audience. You need a wealth of cinematic reference and knowledge, and yes, you need some aesthetic attraction to men. I think those who have not made peace with the beauty of all things cannot make true cinema. But especially in the case of the Hot Old Man, they simply squander any chance they may get at it. Edgar Wright is not one of those people. Exhibit A. Do not tell me this was a happy accident. This was a calculated and measured demonstration of skill. Viewer, Hot Old Man is cinema. I cannot stress this enough. It is the cinematic test of the greats, truly. It is the very painting of the frame. It is texture and balance and tone and theme. And by God, if you really try, it's iconography. This is not hire a man over 40 and be done with it. This is not, but John Hamm is already hot. I don't need to tell you this, viewer. There is media where a man over 40, a handsome man over 40 was hired, and Hot Old Man was not achieved. If a filmmaker can achieve hot old man, or the even bigger feat, if an actor in a film without a steady hand achieves hot old man despite the film itself, see Pedro Pascal and literally everything he's ever been in, this is uncut talent. It is the mark of what made the medium of cinema successful to begin with, and what creates phenomenons, cultural icons, yes, movie stars, and brings to us one of the true joys of life, unabashed aesthetic pleasure. It is truly the one part of culture where the objectification of men becomes anywhere close to the kinds inflicted upon women. Women in film, to me, are a blank slate. They are truly expressive and connected emotional beings within a story, regardless and often in part because of their age, create for us gardens from which to contemplate our inner world. This is often rankly abused by creators with no talent, who rely on putting women through unnecessary trials both within the story and without. What women do is a gift, and it holds the spine of the film industry together. I just don't see women's place in cinema as being debatable, ever. Women are cinema, regardless of age, regardless of role. I don't believe men often achieve this without a wealth of talent, also intelligence, both emotional and otherwise. Hot Old Man, however, is the gilded frame around fantastic filmmaking. It is the score breaker of the industry. You don't need it in your film, but if you have it and you really nail it, both creator and performer, you have created something transcendent, timeless, and technically proficient. The picture is satisfying, reader, satisfying. Hot Old Man can be cathartic. It can be inspiring. It can often be thought-provoking. To find that inimitable mix of pathos and vulnerability, project it through roughness, through trial, through dramatic tension, to keep that string taut without letting it snap. It takes absolute metric tons of skill, and I'm hamming it up, no pun intended, as I'm reading this to you. But I mean this shit. You may make cinema anywhere you like, but if you can pull this one phenomenon off, I forever mark my respect to you.